Concert Crew Podcast, we back again.
Yes.
This one, man, this is going to be the most difficult episode we ever recorded, ever, man. This is going to be emotional. Martez, aka Taz, DeRamus, he passed away on July 1st, 2022. Taz Man, Concert Crew Taz, R&B Taz, Marty, Tazmania. These are some of the names he went by. This is our brother.
Man.
He was born on March 4th, as you know, because he screamed it. We got March 4th on the table right now, his clothing line. He was March 4th. That's all you heard. He was born on March 4th, 1982. He passed away on July 1st, 2022. This was so unexpected. This was so surprising. And I'm going to tell y'all people, this rocked us, man. This rocked the Concert Crew.
Yeah.
This has been a tough 2.5 weeks. And it ain't no way to deal with it. And there's no way to deal with this. There's no way to process this. But we just coming together and we just kind of talking about it. And that's all we can do. And we just celebrating Tez's life. Long live Tez. This is our brother. But fellas, let's just talk about the last 2.5 weeks, man, and how this has been for us.
I just gotta say this first as a disclaimer. This is the first time we all met up since this happened.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like Tupac would say, this is gonna be the realest shit we ever spoke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna catch us vulnerable. You might see some tears. We gonna laugh. We gonna just. This is crazy. Like just coming back here, like almost like we knew we had to do it, but it's like now we're here, like damn, this dude's really not here, and it's sad, you know what I'm saying? But I love y'all, and man, it's crazy just sitting here, just making an episode about Tez. Like, am I, like, I was just thinking, I'm like, damn, what if one of us did pass? And it's like, it actually happened. Not to say I wished it, but I was like thinking, like, what if one of us did pass away? Like, how would we deal with it? And now it's like we are. This is kind of surreal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this one is tough because it's like, you know, this wasn't one of them things where it was like it was a lead up. It was like somebody, you know, somebody was sick and it was a lead up and you know it was coming. This is literally one day a person's here and one day the person's not. And you know, just to get this out the way, Tez actually passed away. He was on a vacation with his friends, Coach Ream, who we had on the show before on the March Madness episode. He's now the assistant coach at Kansas State University, which is a great thing. Tez had his son, and they were away on a trip, and some of his other friends, Coach Z, that we also had on the podcast, one of Tez's best friend, Bilal, they was all out there in Kansas State. Everything was fine. There was no problems. Everything was fine. Unfortunately, Tez suffered a brain aneurysm. He had brain hemorrhages, and it was too late to save him because of the swelling and things like that. And unfortunately, he passed away. So this was literally one day, everything's fine. The next moment, he was gone. There wasn't no time to say goodbye. It just hit us like a ton of bricks just quickly. And we were just left stunned in disbelief.
Yeah.
Everybody. It was just unbelievable. It was unbelievable. It just hurt.
Not the day, but we was talking about the BET Awards. He was like, yo, look at Puff being at his own award thing. He was joking about that. We talking about R. Kelly. He sent the thing to the group chat talking about R. Kelly got 30 years. I'm like, damn. So it's like
R was his guy.
It's literally one moment he was here, the next he wasn't. Like we was communicating through text. Like it's tough, man. It felt like everything just stopped. You know, Freaks actually called me and gave me the news, and I'm joking. Like he answered the phone, I'm joking like normal, cracking jokes. Then he hit me with that, and I just told him I called him back, man. Like I couldn't. Yeah. It was hard to process. It was hard to process, man.
Yeah. This is crazy because we never ever imagined that we have to do something of this nature. You know what I'm saying? And like Tez is Tez. He's stubborn, but he's a beautiful dude inside out, man, and he's a good father.
Great father.
And great father, if I should say. And that's my partner. sitting right here. And more important than anything, when it comes to Concert Group Podcast, 98% of the time, Taz wants to be here on time. I'm telling you, he would not, because he talked the most shit about motherfuckers being late. For real. He might mumble some shit, he give you that look, but yo, and that's what's going to hurt more than anything, that's what's going to affect me more than anything, is that every time I pull up, I'm no longer going to have him already there or walking in with his book bag. You know how he come with his book bag in, maybe his AirPods in, headphones, both his phones, AirPods with his Kobe case cover. You know, my baby, you know what I'm saying? Fresh cut.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? If he didn't have a fresh cut, he had his motherfucker do-rag.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
I know, like, there are plenty of times, like, Taz would come in like, where the fuck Freaks at? Like that.
Yeah.
I'll be like, yo, chill. My man,
and moreover, anything, I used to want to bust his balls to be on time. Like, yeah, motherfucker, I beat you here.
That ain't gonna happen.
But that happened a few times, but not very often. This dude took pride in being prompt and proactive, and him and Mid-Air had the same qualities when it comes to that. But yo, man, like, we're never going to be the same.
Never.
We're never going to be the same.
Never.
And maybe, you know, like, and which I do know, we're not going to be the same in a good way. We're going to become better. We're going to be, it's going to make us work harder. It's going to have us know that we're not giving up because of him. And we're going to be in this shit together, and we're going to hold him down. We're going to wreck this shit, man. Like, I ain't got nobody to argue with like that no more. You know what I'm saying? That would give me a fight back, really. So now I got to make up petty arguments with
I'm gonna say this and get this out the way. Taz can never be replaced. Like, his personality is just Taz. Like, it can never be. Like, man, we had some of the most classic arguments on here, and it got to a point where at one point we used to just film each other on our with our iPhones and stuff.
Yeah.
So it used to be a point where I used to piss Taz off on purpose, because he knew I used to like to film it on my camera. So he used to bite the bullet a lot and just go with it. It was the point where I imagined him actually being real, even though he was dark skinned. But then it got to a point where he was like, oh, I see what you're doing, Carl. So when he started to go up, he would look at me and I would get my phone ready, and then he was like, nah, he ain't gonna keep on getting me all the time.
and he always, because you would send the bait out there to him, but he would never bite. He like, nah, I ain't feeding it.
After a while, he'd be like, I know what he's doing. I know what he's doing. I ain't feeding into it. But yo, we had some classic arguments. And the funny thing about it, if you listening to the argument, you probably think like, damn, they don't fuck with each other no more. But the difference is, by the end of the episode, we would one or the other would say something funny, and we would be over it, man.
Yeah.
We would be over it. Like, wow, man, I'm gonna miss that.
He used to call you Carl Carter.
Carl Carter. Every time it was something about Jay-Z or Beyonce, I would definitely miss him calling me Carl Carter. Or when somebody said something suspect, he'd be like, what you saying?
Faces and all that.
He like,
We gonna play that shit for you, and more importantly, man, it's gonna keep us stronger, man, because now we're gonna really appreciate the times that we was actually sitting here with him and recording, and we gonna go back and listen to them recordings and them jokes, and I'm pretty sure Pito got so much uncut shit that is going to hit our files, and we're going to take our time, man, and continue to do this for him and honor him, man. But
just think about like even though we've been doing this for like 4 or 5 years, we've been up like every weekend talking in the group chat every week,
every day.
Like, we done seen Ted is probably more than a lot of our friends.
Yeah.
Outside of the podcast. You know
Talk about first, I know y'all, you know, Pito and Sean, I know y'all first met him through the podcast pretty much. Even though Sean, he went to school with your brother though. But me and Freaks knew Taz before the podcast. So just talk about like when you first met Taz or when you first, got a chance to know Taz, Freaks.
I'll start off. First got to met Taz. I met Taz through Yosh. And this was years ago when we used to stay on Yosh used to stay on Sherman Street. And if you know my little cousin Yosh, you know that around this time.
That's your cousin?
Yeah, it's my cousin. Yeah, Yosh, it's my
Yeah.
little cousin.
Mm-hmm.
You know around this time, if anybody know Yosh, you know around this time, he got all the systems from
Absolutely.
all the Nintendo shit, Sega shit.
Yeah.
You got all the games. And my aunt is not there in the daytime at all. So you might have me in there, motherfucker, making pancakes, all this type of shit, whatever the case may be. And I met Taz. Taz and Bilal came over to the crib on Sherman Street. And, you know, just to come over there, do our, you know, regular ritual, you know what I'm saying, and playing the game and shit, and just being there with my aunt, not there, and then everybody know that when my aunt was about to come, we leave. And that's when we first met each other, and from then we were friends, and we grew into be brothers, and a circle of friends that grew in, that sprouted out to sports, from Storming Classic to regular competition to being at the Sal with each other. I wasn't a Sal guy like that, but when I used to go to the Sal, Taz used to have his days there. And moreover, just us becoming real close when we both were like really informed that we loved the same guy, which is Alexis Nichols, Lex Diamonds. And because me and Lex Diamonds, you know, our relationship is so solid, and Ted's and Lex Diamonds' relationship is on another level, and all that just formed us just being one, and that, like, the brotherhood and everything from C&D and everything else. And me and Taz actually got so much closer during the podcast, though. You know what I'm saying? Because now we're around each other all the time and we learning each other. So that's why this shit is like so hard for me, because I seen Tez come up. Like, he was a few years younger than me, 3-4 years, and I seen him come up, and we watch each other grow, basically. And very smart guy, and this shit crazy. I don't even like it's crazy that I'm even talking about, like, my brother not being here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. It's crazy, man. But that's how far it was. And then, like, you know, like, by the way, like, this was the 80s. Me and Tez met. When Yosh was staying on Sherman, it was like the 80s, late 80s, probably early 90s. So then us knowing the songs and listening to music, and Tez always loved music, and I always loved music. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the things that connected us, and we was just always hit, and Tez was just always hit. Like, everything that was coming out new, we had. From a Walkman to a Discman to the Sneaks, you feel me? And, you know, like, he just was always solid and sturdy, but kind of more on the quiet side than your average, you know what I'm saying? But very, very pivotal person when you line him up against the wall with everybody else, because he was well respected and he gave respect, you know what I'm saying? Stubborn as shit. My guy, man, he's stubborn as a mug, man, but that's my man. 100 grand.
Yeah, I first met Taz in the 90s, man, like high school time. I first met Taz through the whole C&D clique. I would be out places with my brother Trap, and we would run into the C&D clique. Shout out to Lex Diamonds, he the OG. You know, everybody, you know, look up to Lex, you know, and, you know, shout out to Lex for just always just embracing me and pulling me in, man. He like, oh, I see a lot of my youngins got love for you, so you one of us. So he always embraced me and stamped me, so shout out to Lex for that. But just like Iceberg, Bilal, there's people I grew up with over East Side, and he was around them. So I already knew these people from my neighborhood, and then Taz was around them and they clicked. So I met him in the 90s. Then he was Taz Man, they called him. Taz Man at that point. So that's when I met Taz. And over the years, just seeing them around them people, we just started to get cooler and cooler. But like Freak said, our relationship went to a whole other level with this podcast thing. Like, we already knew him, we was cool, and we knew a lot of the same people. Another one of his brothers, Derek For Real, like that was like one of my youngins, you know, coming up. because of my little brother Marley. So I knew him too. So we had a lot of different men there. We had a lot of different combinations and connections of people. Then he was cool with the whole Crew Love clique. Freak's cousin Archie, Will, Steve, Jaren, all of them. So I knew them from the barbershop crew.
Jaren from G High.
Yeah, and Jaren from G High. So me and Taz had a lot of different connections from a lot of different ways to like his brothers and people that he cool with. So we just had a lot of different connections. But Taz, it's crazy. I asked Taz to be on the podcast, man. I knew Taz always posted. I knew how he felt about R&B. Always posted R&B stuff. So I knew he was a big R&B. And I'm like, yo, that's an element that we don't really got on a podcast like that. And then I knew Biggie was his guy. And me and him had that in common. Biggie was his guy. So I invited him to the Biggie episode. That was the first episode that he ever was on a podcast. That was a beautiful episode. I remember Yosh was there, like you said. Trap was there. Your man with the beard was there. Yeah, he was there. There was a lot of people there that day. Black E was there. So that was on September 15th, 2017. For some reason, I thought Taz came on the podcast in 2018.
It's been like 5 years.
But his first episode, that Biggie episode was Biggie Smalls is the Illest, was episode 38 on September 15, 2017. And then when Black and E wasn't on the show no more, Taz did so good on that Biggie episode. I remember, I'm like, he got the R&B element, plus he talked music already. I'm like, he'd be dope. So I asked him, and he was like, he with it. And his first episode ever was October 26, 2017. We did the greatest albums of all time, episode 44. For some reason, I thought he came on in 2018, but it was still 2017, our first year when he came on here. And that's a funny episode because me, Taz, and Freaks actually went on a road trip to a concert before the episode came out. So we went to the Locks Key of Life concert in Baltimore. So it was the Locks, and Griselda was just on the come up, and they was the opening act. So me, Taz, and Freaks got a picture that you're gonna see from that show where we went to that concert. And this is when nobody even knew who Benny was like that. Benny had an apron on, nobody knew who he was.
Or Conway.
Conway was kind of that guy, but he was still on the come up.
And niggas ain't no Benny like that.
No, they ain't know who Benny was at all.
And that's how far we go back with speaking on Benny, Conway, Westside Gun as far as Griselda. That's how far we go back. You feel me?
We was ahead of the curve.
Ahead of the curve, man. And them guys, like, for real, like, we got Benny stories for days, but go ahead.
And it's a classic story, man. If you want to go back and listen to episode 44, I'll give us a little preview, but it's a classic story of how we was riding back from there in Maryland. I got pulled over, and the cop was looking for weed and drugs, and he tore my truck up looking for weed and drugs. He made me and Freaks get out the car, and he searched us. For some reason, while he was tearing up the truck, he didn't realize that Taz was in the back seat the whole time asleep. The whole time. So Taz was faking, said I was faking sleep. so he was faking.
So Taz gets out, right, or whatever. So he looking at, cause y'all know who had the weed. So he looking at me like, I'm like, man, we good, man. He ain't finding that. You know what I'm saying? Shit. He ain't finding that shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's so many words, man. That shit was crazy, man.
I had to take a test. I had to follow the pen with my eyes. And I wasn't even drunk or high or nothing. He was really just handling me. He was trying to find any way. He just tore my truck apart looking for whatever he was trying to find. Cocaine. He looking for bricks. Guys.
Liquid bricks.
But Taz was in the back seat asleep the whole time. He didn't even know Taz was back there. I'm so glad he wasn't gun-ho, man, because it was crazy. But it's a classic story, man. Then we did our top albums of all time, and that's when me and Freaks actually had a classic argument about he got mad because I picked Lauryn Hill as my number. That's where the whole Lauryn Hill thing, that's where it all started. Me and him was going back and forth arguing. And that was Taz's first episode. He was like, these niggas is crazy. Man, so many. And his last episode that Taz recorded was episode 250, man, on May 9th, 2022. And let's be clear on this. Tez had some stuff. He had some personal stuff he was dealing with, so that's why he wasn't on the podcast since the 250th episode. But he always planned on coming back. He just had some stuff, and this has happened over the years with a lot of different brothers where they had some stuff going on, so they had to miss a few episodes, and that's what happened with Tez.
But mind you, Tez was still posting.
Absolutely.
Difference. You know what I'm saying? Still reposting, showing love, so,
communicating. So it was love, man. He just had some stuff that was going on. But the sad thing about this, and I was
going to ask you what you want to share.
I shared this with y'all, but the Sunday before he passed away, Tez called me, and for all of us that got to know Tez over the years, Tez is a very private person, man.
Yeah.
So some of it I'm not going to share. I'm just going to keep that with myself and my brother forever. But he called me, and it's funny because I've been texting him and stuff like that. But I was meaning to call him. Yeah. So I'm actually so glad that he picked up the phone and called me, because if that's how it ended and I never talked to him, I would be real hurt. But I'm glad that we had a chance to have that conversation, and he called me and he said, "Carl, it was on my heart to call you." And Tez don't really talk he don't talk like that to me, at least.
Yeah.
He was like, it was on my heart to talk to you. And he talked about God, we talked about faith, we talked about family, we talked about the podcast. He was saying that he missed the podcast. He was like, he really wanted to be there, but he just couldn't make it, stuff was going on. He talked about our Capone Noriega episode, about how classic that album was, and he wished he could be there. He talked about the new Drake album, because we always got on him about Drake, and he was like, he don't like it. He talked about Chris Brown album. He said he did like that album. And then I hung up with him. I told y'all, I said, yo, me and Tez just had a real good conversation. Like, it was a real good conversation. And that's how good God is, because I didn't know that was our last time we was going to talk. But I got peace, because the conversation was so good, and I know that he knew that I loved him. And I don't think he even knew at the time, but he said it was on his heart to call me because that was it. And I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
And now it's stuff with that conversation, and some of that conversation was private, man, but I'm going to keep it like that. But and now I just think back on that conversation now over and over again.
It's got a deeper meaning.
Yeah, because now it got a whole different meaning. And I told y'all, I said me and Tez had a great conversation, but now it got a whole nother meaning now after that conversation, man. And man, this one hurt, man. This one hurt. This one hurt, man.
I think because it was just so random. Like you said, we were just talking to him, and it's just like, it wasn't like he was sick or he was actually in the gym.
He was actually in great shape, to be clear. He was losing weight.
He just started losing weight and shit.
He was in great shape.
And like during the time, because me and Taz talk a lot, or whatever the case may be. We text, like, because that's how he is, like, he don't say certain things, and like Carl said, I'm not going to put it out there to the public or whatever the situation is, but we had an episode that was before, like, he said, yo, I need some time away. And he just wasn't there. So I was like, man, what's wrong? You know what I'm saying? So I knew something was wrong the whole episode, and I'm pretty sure somebody may go back and watch the episode, but you can see his demeanor was a little off. He wasn't the usual Tez from the Tez that was just involved with a couple episodes before that, and one of them was one of the favorites, which was Life After Death.
Absolutely.
Just the whole thing of, he was, because Tez, he real private, and that's our guy, we know that. And that's what's different, because we know how he is, because that's our guy, that's our real friend. You know what I'm saying? And the podcast made him our brother, because we're around each other a whole lot. And he just, like, he was going through it, and I called him. I was like, yo, like, you all right? You know what I'm saying? I know something wrong, because I know you. Right. Something ain't right. You know what I'm saying? Like, regardless of anything that may be going on in your life, like, once we say, yo, we're recording, he there. Now, unless he really disinterested. You feel me? But And then that's when he told us, and then I was like, yo, man, you gotta say something. And I guess that's when, you know, he reached out in the group text and told everybody, and that was led up to him not being on a few episodes after that, and then leading up to your conversation. So, but moreover, man, this is something hurtful. This is something that I never thought I'd be able to do. We've been avoiding this for weeks, ever since his passing, and we know that we had to get past this, but not get over. You know what I'm saying? Because a part of us is missing every day, and we will never be the same. But I know that deep down inside of his heart, this was his thing, and he fucked with us, and it was his love for music. And if you know Taz and you know what he liked, and you know his music, and Carl had made a playlist, I'm pretty sure if y'all catch it or not, we probably posted on the page to let you know or whatever, and then however you figure it out. But Taz had songs that he loved. I don't know how you capture that, by the way, man, all them songs. But, you know, man, just continue, man, to pray for his family, man, and know that, man, God don't make no mistakes, man, and any day, that's one thing that we know that's promised while we here is death.
Absolutely,
so,
man.
Take this time to look to your left, look to your right, whoever's watching us right now, and tell your peoples, man, that you love them, man, that you care about them. And if you're hearing this right now, you might just be listening to the podcast part with no video. Just tell the person that's beside you, man, that you love them, man, and continue to tell your loved ones that you love them, man, because any day, anything can happen. And then what is the most craziest thing, Carl, is that I've been hit double. Because when I used to work at my old job, it was one of my old years. That's why this thing like took a whole toll on me. Like it really, like been killing me. He passed away as well. He pulled over, I think he pulled over to use the restroom, and somebody was driving and he swerved out and he hit his car and hit the car into him, and so somebody was in the car with him and he passed away. This is somebody that I worked with every day when I was working. And when I left my job, somebody that I continued to talk to is one of my old heads, man, and that and Tez just broke my heart, man, in pieces. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I'm at his funeral the day after I heard about my brother. I'm at my man Kev funeral the day after I hear about Tez. The exact next day.
That's Saturday.
That was a tough holiday weekend, actually.
Yeah.
When we heard that news. That was a tough holiday weekend.
Yeah.
It was like,
I couldn't believe it.
It was like I was numb. It was like, man, people calling me, is it true? People didn't believe it. Like us, people couldn't believe it. So people is hitting me up to find out, like, yo, tell me it's not true. And I can't tell them that it's not true. I wish I could tell you that it wasn't true, but I couldn't. I had to be honest with you. And this rocked us, man. Like, this completely rocked us, man. It was no forewarning for this. It was literally like everything's good, everything's not. He was away having a great time with family and friends.
And if you watch the stories, you'll see it.
The story, I seen him posting, him and his son Chase, and at Ream on Kansas State's campus. They playing basketball. Chase is practicing with the college basketball team. They going to the football. It was such a dope experience. I remember like that night before, I remember seeing that, like, wow, that's a dope experience that his son Chase was able to experience and that Taz was able to give him. And then it was just like, damn, that's a great time. And then the next day you just hear this news and you like, what? Because that was one of the last things I looked at that night before. That was one of the last things. So it was like, man, it was unbelievable, man.
So quick. That's crazy.
Like Taz, man, like when different people had to take hiatuses for different things, like I could always count on Taz to be here.
Yeah.
Like Taz would be here. It's times where me or other people, y'all might have had something to do or y'all schedules just conflicted, it's times where me and Taz, and we did interviews, it was just me and Taz. We did the interview. Like, we interviewed somebody, and me and Taz would do it. Like, you know, because he would be the one that's available. He's like, yo, can't nobody else make it? Like, I'll make sure I'm there. So, like...
Lives for it. He lived for the moments.
Yeah, and don't get it twisted. Taz might have a personality like he ain't care, but Taz, just think back at some of the episodes, or go listen back at some of the episodes, and listen to stuff that he really was passionate about, and listen to his passion and enthusiasm about this podcast, man. Like, when he got up for something, he got up, man.
Yeah, definitely. For me, when I met Tez was actually through the podcast, through the big episode. But then after a while, you start talking to him, like, all right, Carl's cool with me. You know what I mean? Like, to me, you gotta be cool people. So then we started talking, and then him and my brother actually went to school together. He was like, yo, you look familiar. I was like, yeah, you from Newcastle? Yeah, I'm from Newcastle. He was like, yeah, you might know my brother Blaine. Like, yo, that's where I'm from, Blaine. We guys went to Gun and Bedford together. And then come to find out, my friend Tyler, Malika, they all know him.
Yep.
I went to high school with Lloyd Price, C&D. So all these pieces were just connected together. And then it's like, you know, we would always meet up over the weekends and talk about TV shows, movies, hip hop. Ted would just roast me for liking everything.
Yes, he would.
Here comes another 4, here comes another 3. Yeah. Yo, Ted, Planet Asia does not have nothing to do with Wu-Tang. But yo, that was my guy. He was very private and secretive almost. Not like private, like hiding something, but he always had 2 phones. He came by himself. He was like the ultimate team player. Like, there was times like, damn, we doing another episode again, or another what's my man? Like another Freewheeler album we got. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, but he always did it. He always came. He was passionate. Always kept the heat on him. You know what I'm saying? That guy would legally. You know what I'm saying? But man, I'm gonna miss my guy. And to me, the best thing about Tez to me is out of everything he did. The podcast, to me, I always looked at him as a great father.
Great father.
He always kept a second job. Well, from what I know, he always kept a second job doing security. You know, I mean, little side hustles just to take his son to go to football camp, or like he would say no to us because he had to take his son to football practice. We had to take him here, and I always respected that.
He would.
You know what I'm saying?
He would drop his son off to football practice.
Then come here, exactly.
He would definitely would drop his son off football practice, record, then go pick his son up.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So to me, that's like the ultimate student, and that just makes me want to be the best father I can be. Just like, yo, this is a brother that's taking care of his business by himself.
Absolutely.
A lot of the times he would just hold it down. I'm like, damn, you doing shit by yourself. You got the job and doing this. It's like, damn, you still holding it down, man. He was an ultimate team player, ultimate father. It was just a pleasure to know him, man. And it sucks, but it's like, man, what a time we had together. Going to concerts, doing these different recordings, and you know what I mean? Just, he was a very smart guy, very likable guy. Man, toast to Ted, yo. Toast to Ted.
Toast to Ted.
Good brother, man. We're gonna miss you, bro.
Good brother. Good brother. Love you, man.
Me and Tez, we Pisces brothers. I had several conversations with him. He wanted to try to start doing beats. So he was supposed to come over, but every time either he had to work or Chase had to practice. So it was just too much. And then I was working and running around, so we never got up to actually link up. But he also was going to show me how to get my conceal.
Yeah, still carry.
Yeah, so, but we never got to do that. Remember, July 4th, I was telling you that he was supposed to, and then we got somebody else to help us. So, yeah, that's all I'm missing out. And the guy got my Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis CD.
He definitely does. He definitely does. Tez took that with him, man. My brother. He took that. He said, I'm going to give it back to you. Nah, man, I ain't giving that shit back. It's a wrap.
I had that nigga come.
And everything on there.
You ain't getting that back no more. Put that in your bits with my lost CDs, man. It's a wrap, man.
And Chase don't find it, you ain't getting it.
Yeah, but other than that, you know, I miss that loud ass laugh.
Absolutely.
Well, as you can see, man, we got a lot of stuff on here on the table, man. This is like Tez is a lot of his favorite stuff, man. The only thing we don't got on here is the Dallas Cowboys, man. That was his football team. We don't got the Cowboys on here, but we all know Kobe was his guy. That was his guy, diehard Kobe. So when Kobe passed away, we did a tribute Kobe episode, and he was down there about to cry on that. Well, we all was sad, but Kobe was my guy, but Kobe was Tez's guy on a whole nother level, man.
And not only that though, Carl, let's not forget, we had trouble trying to get up and record that because that's how much Kobe meant to a lot of people, man. That rocked a lot of people. And I'm not even a Lakers fan or whatever case may be, but the human being that Kobe human being that Kobe was, man, was like, it was top shelf. And I think I fell more in love with Kobe after he retired from the game of basketball, seeing him be with his daughter and be more human, things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I fell more in love with him. I seen one of his interviews. I think was it Leno or was it it wasn't Leno. What's the other guy? My boy, man.
Jimmy Fallon?
Fallon. Was it Fallon? He was on Fallon, right? I think I seen the interview with him, and then I seen the Up and Smoke interview.
It's the dude with the dark. It's the other one with the dark skin hair.
What's the one? They come on
Jimmy
Channel
Fallon,
6.
and then Jimmy.
It's the other guy. He got the night.
The night show on Channel 6.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's not Jimmy. Jimmy Fallon's the one that got the roots. Jimmy
Kimmel.
The other Jimmy, yeah.
Yeah, Kimmel. And then his Up and Smoke interview that he did as well with Steven Jackson and what's my man's name?
Matt Burns.
Matt Burns, yeah. So all that was, you know what I'm saying? So, and he didn't want to do it. He called me. He was like, yo, man, what we going to do, man? We got to get up there. I was like, man, I know, man, I'm on my way, man, but hopefully I can make it because at the time I had my son, I want to say, and I couldn't get nobody to watch my son. And he was like, man, we got to do it. He like, and you know, this is my guy, man. So it was hard, and it was very seldom. And it's another thing that was private and like about Tez, and he tried to not mix his personal life and sort of his elective life was kind of mixed, but that's why he created another page, because there were certain things that he vent to on his personal page that I guess it was more people that he knew that followed him than a lot of people that didn't know a lot about him. That was one of the episodes that Tez posted. That, Nipsey Hussle, and maybe a few others from the Concert Crew podcast on his actual page. Not saying like it's nothing wrong with that because he had another page where he did his marketing, boom, boom. And I asked him about it. I was like, yo, you got two pages? He's like, yeah, man, because you never know who's following you, boom, boom. And he was always on that. You know what I'm saying?
That's another thing though about Tez had, other than second to me, Tez used to have social media popping. Like they be like, yo, you talk. I talked to the dude. I talked to the concert crew. I'm like, who? And they were like, Tez. I'm like, oh, Tez. So he had his Tez. At first, it started off being concert crew Tez. And I thought that was dope. I like the concert crew Tez. Then he changed it to Tez from the podcast. But Tez used to be reaching out to artists. Like they used to know Tez from the pot. Like it's funny because some people know you from, you know, just regularly and people that he grew up with and came up with. And then there's a section of people that just know him from the podcast. Yeah. So until we broke the news, they didn't even know nothing about Tez Pass. So that was a whole nother day. Like, what? People hit me up like, what? What happened to Tez? Like, people knew Tez. Some people just knew Tez from the podcast. Right. And he definitely had his podcast page. He used to be active on there. And he had it popping, man. So definitely remember that.
It's funny that you say that because my boy Mello up in New York, he was like, I can't wait to get on there and talk to Tez about his.
He loved Tez. He loved Tez.
And your brother is another person. Me and your brother be going back and forth in the DMs as well on the side. And he was like, yo, man, I know Tez gonna be hating on you on that. You know what I'm saying? Because your brother is an actual fan of our work and he actually listened to our podcast, and he was like, he not gonna like when he listened to your review for that about that Drake. That's the first thing he said, and then like that thing hit, man, and he was like one of the first guys to reach out. Was like, yo, man, he was hurt about it, and you know, we all heard about it. A lot of people heard about it, and more importantly, man, like I said, man, just keep his family and his son in your prayers, man. That's the most important thing right now, and besides that, we're gonna miss our brother, man. And I don't want to continue to dwell on it, but I just know that it's a lot of shit that he loves, and I know that North Carolina's one, the Cowboys is one. Big E's one, March 4th the brand is one.
March 4th the brand is on the table,
You know what I'm
man.
saying?
Biggie was his guy. Like the Death was his favorite album.
Shit that he loved. Nas, it was written.
It was written. It's on here somewhere.
Things of that nature, man. I'm telling you, man. Just go back, man.
He loved R&B.
Yes.
He loved R&B.
Hear his voice, man. Go back.
My Life, Usher.
Yes.
But his guy, it was R&B Taz for sure. Or I don't know if I coined R&B Taz on here or people called him R&B Taz before the podcast, but I think I might have started calling him R&B Taz. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
It might have been you because you threw him the alley hoop when every time it was an R&B.
Yeah, I think I might have started R&B Taz, but he was unapologetically a supporter of R. Kelly. So I bought his CDs for my brother. He said, I don't care what charges he got, they don't change his music. He was unapologetically R. Kelly.
Love
He was
being framed.
You cannot tell him nothing about R. Kelly. I don't care what survivor R. Kelly is.
Joe, because I think maybe his last text.
Well, I think it was about
something about R. Kelly.
I think it was.
It's like, look at this bullshit. He can't sell it. I was like, he like the feds.
He might have screenshotted that and then sent it to the group chat. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, he did. Yo, when that shit came out hot, he sent it through the chat first. Like, look at this shit. They set my boy up.
Yeah, man. The Lakers. Me and him had that. We had that in common. Lakers fans. He was a diehard Lakers fan. He actually got this video where he took Chase to a game, and they were in the actual media. The farewell Kobe tour, and the media was interviewing his son Chase. That was a dope ass experience for his son.
And not only that though, me and Sean used to pull pranks on Taz because Taz might have this moment. He may be upset about maybe something that happened. He may not respond all day in the chat. So me and Sean would put something in there about the Lakers or something like that. Here comes Taz. Ding! My line, Sean. I was like, Sean, I told you he's going to respond. Or I hit Carl. Carl, I told you he's going to respond. I knew how to push his buttons with that Lakers shit. Oh, man.
LeBron, talk about LeBron.
Yeah, he wasn't a big LeBron Lakers fan, but Kobe era, he was big. But me and him actually had two teams in common, the Lakers, and then as you can see, UNC, man. He was a UNC guy. I like both of them teams.
He hated me when we beat y'all, boys. Oh, my goodness.
I hated you.
Yeah, I know.
But he also was a Dallas Cowboys fan. We were big Dallas Cowboys fans.
He did not say nothing on Instagram.
Oh, and the Cowboys.
About the Cowboys and nothing the whole time. And as soon as we lost to motherfucking St. Louis, here he comes with a Debo post. The motherfucker had Debo fight. Right, dog. I said, this motherfucker, I said, how you gonna even respond, man? My fight folk.
But he also had his March 4th clothing brand from his birthday. We got some of his shirts on here. March 4th, he always March 4th. Some people actually, like T. Warren, started calling him March 4th, like that was his name.
Yeah,
March 4th, March 4th, March 4th. So he definitely, I definitely supported his brand. This is some of his shirts on the table right now. We support each other, man. I support my brothers and stuff they did, but man,
yo. Before we head out, close out, what's your favorite moment with Tez?
Ooh, it had to be an argument. It had to be an argument with me and him. It had to be an argument as far as I think it might have been the Pac and the Biggie joint.
No, that was recently. Y'all had a lot of arguments.
We had a whole lot.
That was the recent one.
That was the recent.
The Life at the Death episode. Y'all, that was
had a few of them. Me and him had a few of them, but at the end of the day, it was all love. It was never like, oh, I don't like you, MF, or none of that. It was, but
yo, it's funny.
I would say that's one.
Well, not because you grew up, but it's like it's so funny just being around somebody so much. You can hear them like what they're, you can hear them saying what you think that like they would say. Like I can hear Tez saying this. I can.
No, it's going to be situations where I know what he's going to say, and I'm going to say it for him, Tez. I know you would say, because I already know what he's going to say. I know when he say certain stuff about Jay-Z or Beyonce, going to call me Carl Carter, or if it's certain stuff that one of his classics is Jay Prince. When Jay Prince comes on, it was a point where all I had to do was just say the Jay Prince news, and I just stopped because I knew Ted was gonna come in with the Jay Prince voice, and I just let him go. Yeah. Or I know when I'm talking about Puff or Jay-Z, he's gonna throw a little shot in there somewhere. That's Taz, man. Like, you know, it's just little stuff like that, man. Like Taz. He used to close out the interviews talking about the legacy question. And he that was like his thing. It was like little.
Why was he so serious with the question?
He was ready. He's like, and it'd be sometimes where I just do eye contact with him. They got to the point where I can just do eye contact, and he know like, let's get ready to wrap this up, man. Let's get up out of here. So it's just little stuff, man. Like just little stuff. He would be on point, and it got to a point where all of us kind of started to have like nonverbal late language that we would communicate with each other. And he was definitely one of them guys that I could do that with, man. And it's just gonna be a bunch of little stuff that's gonna be missed, man. Like I like Tez, you know, it sounds funny, but I like when Tez got pissed off, man. Like me and Tez had some classic argument. Our last argument was probably the Eminem one at the Eminem one on the Hall of Fame episode this year. Yeah. That's probably our last good one. But you know, like we had, it was just, man, all the moments, like.
And Taz would keep it clean in certain areas. When we say cracker or white guy, Taz would say European.
Oh, he definitely brought the European to the table, man.
Now these European people are.
So he had us all starting to say European, man.
Europeans, man.
It's so many memories, man. It's too many, and we're gonna remember something. We're gonna keep Tez's name alive for sure. But what I want you to know though, before the podcast, I want to reiterate how great of a father this man was to Chase. This guy actually, one year we did a Just Like Daddy episode. It was for Father's Day, and Tez actually couldn't make the episode, but he's the one that came up with the idea. Like, yo, we should make a Father's Day episode, and it's crazy because he wasn't even able to make the epised, but like he was like. Out of all of us,
Chase had a game. I want to say, right?
He had something. But out of all of us, he was pretty much a single father. Out of all of us, and he held that thing down, man. Like he held it down, and he was a great, great father, man. And I think we all great fathers, but he had a different little he had different circumstance where he was kind of like his son was with him all the time. It was like the opposite of what you normally see. And man, he was a great, great father to Chase, man. And that's the kind of thing I've been thinking of the most during this whole ordeal, is that his son and how much he was there for his son and how much he loved his son. Like Chase was his world. And that's what kind of hurting to me. Like, damn, he's not going to be. And I know he's going to be there for Chase's spirit, but I know Chase going to miss his dad, man, because his dad was his everything, man. And that hurt. That tears me up. If that goes beyond my pain and my hurt, I'm thinking about his son, man. And then, then his family all together, but his son, man, that they had a special bond in the relationship, man.
Yeah, as they should.
Yeah, I mean, just even like recently when like the PS5 dropped, and he was like, yeah, I'm gonna get it for my son. I'm like, man, where the fuck you gonna find a PS5 at for Christmas? He's like, he was looking and he got it.
And he got it.
How the fuck you find that? He's like, yeah, I just got it online. I was like, dang, he must have lucked. Like that's the type of dude that you want to be. Like, he gets his son what he wants, and you know what I mean, make sure his grades are straight, always keeping in contact with him.
And he surprised him one year for Christmas or something. He put it in an old box. He gave him an old box. Remember that? He put it in an old box, and then he gave it to, and Chase was pissed off. Like, what the hell is this, man?
Chase saw it.
Yo, man, wow, man. Tez, man. R&B Tez. Concert crew Tez, man. Wow. This is our guy, man. Like, Tez is also a sneaker head. Like this dude, all the sneakers, man, all the sneakers.
Started getting me sneaks.
He got a lot of people's sneaks, Jordans, Kobe's, Kanye's, LeBron's. Like he was that guy. He could find you the sneaks, man. He was a sneaker head. Like he was a sneaker head for sure. Always matched it up with his March 4th shirt, you know what I'm saying? Always had a lay on.
That was promotional.
Absolutely, man. Wow, man. Yo, you know, we got his top 5 up here. I remember we did a top 5 episode. That was actually his first episode. And he said his top 5 was, number 1, it was Life After Death, you know, which we got up here. Number 2, it was Blueprint by Jay-Z.
Yep.
This is rap albums. Number 3, it was Written, which is up here. Number 4, it was Only Built for Cuban Links. And number 5 is Ready to Die by Biggie, man. We got all them represented here for Taz. But man, the Lakers, the Cowboys, UNC Tar Heels, Biggie was his guy. R&B period. Like he loved R. Kelly. R&B period. That's why we call him the R&B Taz. He was a big R&B guy. And like I made a playlist for him, man, that on Tidal, which I just went back all the way to like 2012. I got all the songs that he either posted or that I knew he liked personally, and I put them on a playlist, and it's a dope ride, and you can kind of catch Taz vibe, man.
He liked Chris Brown too.
He loved Chris Brown. He loved Chris Brown. He loved Chris Brown.
That's for Trey Songz.
Trey Songz. He loved Trey Songz.
You know
he loved Trey Songz.
Like man, he
Jacquees.
Yeah, he loved Jacquees too. Yeah.
Damn, it's like for me, it's like I would look at Taz like, yo, you see that show? Did you watch the shots? Like, yeah, I'm up there. I'm like, yeah. Now I gotta talk to you guys about it. But yo, Taz was always on his movies, always on his shows. Like he would be like hitting me on the side, like, yo, did you watch this documentary? Did you see this documentary? Like we would go back and forth like on the outside of our group chat. You know what I'm saying? Just one-on-one tip. Like he would show me shows and like. He was very, very, very smart guy.
Yeah.
Very smart guy.
And the computers also. Heavy with the computers,
the
you know.
work,
heavy with the computers, IT. Like he was very, very smart, man.
And then like when we do like the Channel Zero episodes, he always knew about the news.
He loved. That was one of his favorite episodes. I think that was Channel Zero was his favorite episode.
I think he was more like he was always into it, but it was always something that Carl didn't have listed, and he'd bring that joint up. You know what I'm saying?
Quick to fact check too.
Yeah, quick to fact check,
and quick to bring something up that I was like, oh, I forgot all about that, man, and bring it and add that to the episodes too. So I'm also gonna miss that. But like, shout out to his C&D, man. That was his brotherhood, man. He repped heavy. Next Diamonds, man, Iceberg, Bilal, Banger, Derek For Real, Minair, Lloyd, so many of them, man. Shout out to the whole C&D. Shout out to Crew Love, his other crew, man. Archie, Will, Steve, Corey, Jaron, all of them, man. Wow, like Taz was loved. Taz had brothers, man. He had a lot of brothers.
Shout out to people that was reposting the stuff that we like. Torre gave a repost.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of like people that we actually sat
Dutch
down
reached out. Spado, Miss Links reached out. Like so many people. Grouchy Greg reached out. Like so many people reached out.
Which one reached out to me? Are people from oh my goodness, man, my head is so. Chandra reached out to her. Chandra reached out to me and was basically, you know, talking to me about just saying stay strong. You know, those who know Taz and know what he meant to us. I was leaving the spot the other night and I seen my baby out there, man. And he had said something to me too, hugged me up and everything. What's our boy, man, that come on, man? That came on.
Maybe?
Nah, man. Rapper. Our boy.
T-Hart?
Not T-Hart.
Geno?
Geno. Seen Geno the other night as well.
Shout out to Geno, man. Yeah, we appreciate all the love and support and the prayers that you've been giving us.
T-Hart reached out to me too.
Yeah,
Kyle reached out. Hook, that used to be a part of the podcast, he reached out. A lot of people reached out, man.
And a lot of people definitely reached out.
Man, the love is reciprocated, man. And I know that Taz, one thing that I know Taz was valuable of, and I know we took a lot of care in, is keeping relationships that he created alive and keeping them sturdy and running. It's a lot of people that Tez kept a constant relationship with that we don't even know about. But they know for a fact that when something happened to him, they knew something was wrong because he's used to responding or communicating.
And a lot of people, man, he was a brother to a lot of people, and he showed a lot of people love, man. Shout out to Reem, because we had him on a podcast. Remember, we talked about his mental health issues. He talked about how integral Taz was helping him to get through that, through those dark moments in his life.
Yeah.
Man, shout out to Z, man, Coach Z. Like, I'm so glad that Z got married like a month ago or so, and he was his best man in his wedding. And I'm so glad that Z got to have that moment with Taz as his best man before he passed away. Now that means so much more. And we had, in the last conversation with him, we talked about that and how special that was to him. And man, Z, he loved Z, man. Z was a great brother to him, man. Reem was a great brother to him, man. Derek, for real, so many people he was a brother to. And they said that Taz was the one that would check up on you after he ain't talked to you for a while. Malika, like he was that great friend to everybody, man.
And two people that I love. Well, another person I love as well that passed away, man, that him and Taz's relationship was crazy. And they would sit down and vibe for a couple hours and talk about music and things other. Besides music was Sweat.
Rest in peace to Sweat.
Man, rest in peace to Sweat. I was like, damn, though, like you couldn't wait to get to Sweat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. And I just posted a picture with him and Sweat. You know what I'm saying? And two of my brothers, man, they gone, man. I love both of them brothers, man, wholeheartedly, man.
Man, real tears, man. This one hurt, man. A lot of tears shed from my brother Taz, man. This one hurt. Concert Crew ain't gonna never be the same without Taz. But we gonna continue to go forward, and everything we do now is gonna be in his name, man. We're gonna represent him. We're gonna keep his name alive. We're gonna try to find ways where we can support his legacy and also support his son. Like, we down, whether we initiate it or whether we partner up with somebody. Like, I want to make March 4th, his birthday, a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, where we celebrate. Like, I just want to keep his name going and join up with his other brothers, man, C&D and Crew Love. And let's just keep this brother's legacy going, man. And we just want to do our part and talk about Tez from the podcast. And we thank you for your prayers. You know, but continue to pray for Chase and his family, Tez's family, as they continue to go through this tough time. And we just gonna keep it going, man. We owe it to him. We can't replace him, but we owe it to him to keep going harder. And everybody got to step up even more now through Tez's absence.
Yeah, and not only that, man, just know that it's going to be times in our episodes and our future episodes, more importantly, that we might get in the zone of just about Tez.
Absolutely.
It might just happen because we lost somebody that's a part of something that's a thing of ours. Mm-hmm. And nothing hurts more than that. You know what I'm saying? It's been some long days and nights, man, since he passed. And it took a lot for us to come here and do this, which I'm still like in belief that I'm sitting here and doing this because that's my guy, man. Like, I never thought that this would be, you know, the end all be all or us going here for this. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, man. I love you, man. I miss you. And I'm going to be here.
But I think also at the end of the day, like you were saying, tell your people that you love them every day, man. Like, I know it's tough to do that, but also just squash petty beefs with people, man.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
If you and somebody got a problem, just like, man, life too short. Let's just get over it. You know what I mean? And also, get your affairs in order, man. Get your will, even though nobody wants to talk about it, but you still have to get your life in order, man. Because you never know, like, when your last day is coming. You know what I mean? You got car insurance. You got insurance on these stupid ass phones. You have life insurance. What's going to happen after you? You know what I'm saying? Like, just you got to think about the future. So it's just, to me, this is definitely eye-opening. Man, we all got to get our stuff together if you don't already.
Because you never know, man. I know that's the cliche stuff. You never know. Every day is a promise. I know. And then stuff like this happens, and it just reiterates it every time. Like, it hit close to home, and this one hit right close. It hit us right in the gut, man. This is
That's like the back of the head.
Yeah, this one,
Knockout.
this hurt, man. This hurt. Like I was crying a lot. I shed a lot of tears, and you know, I know I loved him. I know he loved me, and I got peace with that. And I know we had a great conversation, so I got peace with all of that. But that don't mean, you know, it don't hurt. It's not tough. And this was tough, man. This was tough. But I know one thing, man. We're gonna keep it going for our brother, man. So you know, final words, man. This wasn't no rundown. It wasn't no nothing. We just wanted to talk about our brother real quick because we had to do it. This is a form of therapy for us, man.
Man, Tez to me is like the ultimate team player, the ultimate lone wolf. My man always rode by himself. He'd be like, yo, you know what I mean? We all going to the field. You coming with us? I'll meet y'all there. Like, Tez, like, yo, come on, you want to buy us? Like, nah, Tez was just that guy that just, I'll be up there, and he'll be up there. You know what I'm saying? Like, just a good dude, man. It sucks to be talking about him, but I mean, for me, like those years of me knowing him, man, it was definitely a pleasure, an honor. I learned so much from him, and I know what I can take from what I learned from him moving forward. Where I can put that into my life and make me a better man, make me a better father. You know what I'm saying? So, thank you.
Yeah, Tez, man, I love you, brother, and just thank you, man. Like I bought you into this concert crew thing, and it was a hell of a ride, man. Ups, downs, good, bad, ugly, arguments, laughter.
More good than bad.
Definitely, but that's part of brotherhood, man. Arguing, you know what I'm saying, but a whole lot of laughter too. You know, so it was good, bad, and ugly, man. But it was always love at the end of the day, man. But I know one thing, when I needed somebody to lean on, like Tez would be that guy. Tez was he was that come-to guy. He was the go-to guy. He was ready, and when he showed up, he was on point. Like he was on point, whether we was doing an interview, whether we was doing a topic episode. Like it was times where, everybody knows this episodes where I'm like, yo, Taz, this episode, I need you to, or I might say Freaks, this episode, I need you to really step up. Or so like I do this for certain episodes when I know like I need you on this one. And when it would be times where I would say to Taz, like he was ready every time. Like he bought it. Yeah, he was ready, man. So I'm just gonna miss the little stuff. I'm gonna miss the little details of us recording, the little stuff that we did. I'm gonna miss his little sayings, man. What's up with the what's up? Or when we start off, we go yeah, like little stuff, man. Just you're gonna miss it, man. And he's gonna never be forgotten. His memory's gonna last forever. We're gonna keep his name ringing, like with this concert crew thing. And we just want to support and keep his legacy, man. March 4th, man. Rest in peace, brother.
Luckily, we got all this audio for days.
That's the beautiful thing. You can go back and listen to our episodes over all these years, and you can find his personality pretty much on damn near every topic you can listen to.
You want to listen to Tez? Go back and
listen to the episode. You're going to get his full personality in every way, man. Fatherhood, music, just life. You're gonna get so many different ways. Like we got the pleasure of having audio recordings of his thoughts and video, his thoughts and feelings of like everything. Like other people really can't say that. We got pictures for days. We got memories for days. As time goes on, all this stuff is gonna pop up. A little stuff with Tez.
Everything, man. That was our guy.
Great. Man, I remember at the Benny concert, this guy somehow found his way like damn near all the way on stage. He was next to DJ. I think it was DJ Shay actually. Rest in peace at that time. He was all the way on stage next to him. He was way further up than I was. Like he was damn near performing. That's how high. That's how high.
Yeah. Oh, yo, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it was me and Freeway was in front of me. It was you and Dapper in the back.
Yeah. Taz was so far up there. Taz could have got a mic and performed. Yeah. That's how far he creeped up there. Wow, memories for days, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just miss looking across them.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough having an empty seat right there, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm always looking at that exit door, and he's right there. Just keep my eyes on somebody walking in. You know what I'm saying? But damn.
Yeah. I think everybody said everything that they want to say. I speak to him every night, though. You know what I'm saying? I hope that I do. I hope that you hear my voice. eternally. You know what I'm saying? I love it. You know what I'm saying? It's my brother. I love all y'all, man. We're like, what's the worst that could happen? And the worst that's happened. That's how we gotta look at it. You know what I'm saying? Everything else is, we can get over, we can make better. You know what I'm saying? Arguments, things of that nature. When somebody loses their life, man, it's over. And when I was at my coworker funeral, man, it bust me because I just lost one of my close friends, and I lost one of my close friends from my job that I met through my job. And as I was saying, me and my coworker, our relationship got better while we was working, but our relationship became better when we was both switched to the same shift. And with Tez, my relationship been good with him, but my relationship got better when we was part of the podcast.
Yeah,
And
I agree. My relationship with Taz, we was cool, we was good. But when he came on this podcast, we became brothers. And I loved him. And that was a whole nother level of our relationship these last 5 years that grew. And me and him was good. But it's nowhere, it was nowhere near how it grew when coming on this concert crew. And you're going to be loved and you're going to be missed. And we just pray, man, for you and Chase and your whole family, man, during this tough time. I know some people just put it on us. But nah, pray for his son, man. You know, I just be there for his son, man. It's a difficult transition if you knew what kind of father this man was to his son.
Absolutely, man. And with that being said, man, we love you, Taz. We gonna miss you.
Long live Taz.
And your seat will always be here.
I don't care who comes on the podcast. I don't care who comes on the podcast, who's a guest. Who does whatever to put input in this podcast in the future. Taz will never be replaced. Like his personality, you can't be that. Like you just that was Taz. That was just him, and it can never be replaced. So it doesn't matter what happens going forward. Taz will never be replaced ever. Ever.
You know what Taz was like? He was like that extra spice you put in there, that extra kick in the sauce. Like, damn, what the fuck was that? Like Tez.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, it was when we had episodes. I'll be like, man, I can't do an episode unless it's either Freaks or Tez is there. Like one of the two got to be here because I need that contrast all the time. Like I know everybody's personality, and I need that little edge. And either Freaks or Tez brings that little edge that I need to kind of make the podcast like different, like that. So everybody's not just the same thing, kind of. So Tez's part is gone now, and I can't get that back. So now I ain't trying to put no pressure on you, bro, but it's just like it's Freaks, like because though Freaks cannot be here, but I'm like, cool, Freaks ain't here. I got Tez, and Tez knew how to step up when that role was needed, and he knew how to fall back when it wasn't needed. But he knew when Freaks was going, I needed that little edge that he brought. Yeah, I knew that. So now it's Freaks. That's why I said we all got to do more now because Tez is gone, man. It's a void, but we're gonna get through it though. But we just wanted to honor our brother, man. Long live Tez, man. Rest in peace, March 4th, Tez. Martez, Tez, DeRamus, rest in peace, brother. Man, we love you, man. Like, we love you, man. We love you. And that's going to be part of my endings from now forward, man. We love you, Tez. Like, we love you. We're going to keep you with us as we go along on this journey. Man, Concert Crew Tez, man. Tez from the podcast. We love you, brother.
That's that, man.
And,
they know how to find us.
Yeah, man, subscribe, download. We are keeping this going for him. Like, this what he would want. I know for a fact. Trust me. He would want this. And
y'all go ahead. That's what his line. Y'all go ahead.
Go ahead. That was his favorite thing to say.
Go ahead and make that thing happen.
Don't let me hold it up. What he used to say. That's what he used to say. Don't let me hold it up, man.
Yeah,
y'all go ahead.
Y'all
hold me down. And we're gonna take that for the rest of this journey. We're gonna keep it up, man. Yo, man, make sure I go follow us at Concert Crew Podcast. Make sure I go download, subscribe. We on all digital platforms. Make sure I go to YouTube. Follow our YouTube page. Man, long live Tez. We love you, brother. One more time. We love you, brother. We love you, Taz.
Love you.
March 4th.
It's March 4th.
Yo, Pito, hit us with the fader. We out. Love you, Taz.